At UFC 223, Khabib Nurmagomedov got into a fist fight. Want to know the psychology Raging Al used to convince Khabib to bang it out for the first time in 26 fights? Then stick around. Here's a question from Avery Ware. Show psychology in a fight. I'm often asked if psychology means anything once the fight starts. This is a great example of psychological gamesmanship playing a major role in a championship fight. Round 1 and 2 played perfectly to Hoyle as far as the expectations for Khabib went. Contrary to what some are suggesting, Khabib was not exposed in this fight. He's not suddenly easy to beat. If you've been paying attention, you know he showed the same skill set and tendencies as he has in every fight. He won a dominant, unanimous decision, per usual. Round 1, Khabib fails at his first grab, but quickly sucks the leg back in and clings to Iaquinta for the remaining 4+ minutes of the round. Khabib didn't pursue much offense other than slapping at the backs of Al's gloves a few times, but the important part is he stymied Al's ill intentions completely. Khabib is like quicksand. He sucks you in and makes you feel helpless. Round 2, rinse and repeat. Khabib fails on his first takedown, but succeeds immediately with the follow-up. Again, the Dagestani duvet tucks Iaquinta in for the remainder of the round. Khabib did little to inflict damage, but he stopped Iaquinta from even starting. For the first 2 rounds, he limited Raging Al to a dull roar. That's Khabib's game. There's nothing pleasant about fighting Khabib. It's pretty much the same as going on a date with Cosby. You know you're gonna end up on your back and helpless while a creepy guy holds you down for 25 minutes, after which he puts on a funny hat and you get to eat pudding pops.
So rich and creamy!
For Al's sake, I hope UFC insurance covers Plan B. Sheesh. With about a minute left in the round, we see this harried look from Iaquinta. He's tired, worn down, and been utterly thwarted for 2 full rounds. It's not that Khabib damaged Al, it's Khabib's relentless control that has Al pondering the futility of all things. Round 3 is the change. As Iaquinta comes out, you see he'd rather do anything than spend another round buried under the human rock slide. So Raging Al stands in front of Khabib and proceeds to allow him to land punches at will. Al stops using head movement, evasive footwork, or parrying to avoid strikes. This is the vaunted rope-a-dope, made famous by Muhammad Ali against George Foreman, the bigger, stronger, unbeaten, and universally favored wrecking machine at the Rumble in the Jungle. This is Raging Al Iaquinta, doing his best to implement the same psychological ploy by standing in front of the 8-1 favorite and letting the punches land. Khabib dives for a leg. Al avoids it. Huge success for Iaquinta. It allows him to continue baiting the hook.
A rod that's lightweight. It's extremely sensitive. Dadgummit.
Over the first 2 rounds, Khabib jacketed Iaquinta for more than 8 minutes. A couple minutes into the 3rd round, and Al's already stayed on his feet longer than the previous rounds combined. After a myriad of punches land, the Russian grappling ace begins to feel a tingle in that special place wrestlers have, the home of the tiny voice in their head that whispers, "You have great striking, probably world class, and power too. You just need to hold off on grappling long enough to show this fool across from you and the rest of the idiots what you've always known. Striking ain't so hard. After all, it's just the thing you do if you can't wrestle." This sequence shows the efficacy of Iaquinta's ring IQ. It lets Khabib throw 3 more jabs without moving or returning fire. He's giving Khabib as much success as possible. Khabib's feeling the swagger of landing at will. He steps in with an incautious, loosey-goosey slap-hook cross combo, which Al eats happily to return a flush counter. Iaquinta can see the pridefulness in Khabib's body language. He needs to get that one back. I mean, listen to the crowd after Al lands the heavy counter.
USA chants here at Barclays Center.
That reaction is embarrassing to Khabib. He is supposed to always be most respect. Iaquinta baits Khabib again by taking a couple more. And bam! Iaquinta blasts a right over Nurmi's sloppy jab before Khabib can finish his combo. Look again. Al knows he has Khabib on the hook, so there's no need to worry about the takedown. Thus, when Khabib throws his same jab to start the 1-2, Al easily moves his head offline and counters with a powerful right. It's almost like Iaquinta could avoid Khabib's jab whenever he wanted to. As the round ends, they separate with Khabib a bit confused. Iaquinta reaches out to placate him. The Long Island crew are pleased, but haven't caught on to Raging Al's strategy yet, so they ask for more head movement.
Al, I want head movement, baby, head movement.
There's a hint of desperation in the voice of Javier Mendez.
Okay, you understand? Okay, you did it now. Go back to father plan, please. Okay?
He pleads with Khabib to go back to father plan,
Go back to father plan.
back to game plan suffocation. The fourth begins where the third left off. Rope-a-dope is working. Khabib Nurmagomedov finds himself in a goddamn fist fight for the first time in his life. And what's better, the Dagestani believes it's his idea. The problem for Iaquinta is capitalizing on the opportunity. In round 3, Al baited and waited, eating Khabib's best without issue and blasting the occasional all-or-nothing counter. As the fourth stretches out, Iaquinta realizes the window to shock the world is closing. He trained for a 3-round striking matchup with virtually no wrestling in the camp because of that and a long history of bulky knees. Raging Al is running on fumes, and probably no small portion of Long Island crazy. He starts to press, advancing his own offense. But Khabib's as jumpy as a twice-kicked cat. Any forward aggression from Al and he scampers away. The rest of the round is Iaquinta lunging for combos. As Al throws, the retreating Khabib closes his eyes and turns his head and throws his arms up akimbo while darting away on Fred Flintstone feet. The concern is even more palatable in Khabib's corner now.
He's tougher to finish up top. You understand me? He's tougher to finish up top, so we want him on the ground. That's where your best option is to take him to the ground, okay?
Mendez actually begs Khabib to promise him he'll stop striking and return to the safe game plan.
I want a guarantee, okay? I want a guarantee. You can finish him on the ground.
Raging Al gives all that's left trying to catch Khabib at the start of the 5th, but he just doesn't have the energy to chase him down and land the conclusive blow. Apparently desperate to glom onto Iaquinta one more time, Khabib bursts into a wild frenzy of some kind of heretofore unseen Dagestani kung fu. He's kicking and chopping like a goddamn Down syndrome Jackie Chan. But the Khabib Targnado works. And after 3 more minutes of this, the fight ends, and the mommy has a new baby Khabib in her tummy. Well, that's what I see. Khabib wins another dominant decision to keep his record pristine at 26-0, and Al Iaquinta acquitted himself quite well. He was able to bamboozle the Khabibs into the only style of fight, which gave a late-notice replacement like himself who's outside of the top 10 and had but one fight in the previous 1,080 days a shot at winning, and thus established the proof of concept that Khabib is indeed susceptible to the mind-fury. I want to hear your opinion. Do you think Khabib learns from this and avoids being baited into a stand-up fight in the future? Or will he stay in the dark while the usual gaggle of experts debate whether Khabib was exposed or not? Remember, this isn't supposed to be easy.